Welcome, dear viewers, to a new year and a fresh look at the UK's economic landscape. As we unravel the threads of the past year, we find a tapestry of complexities and challenges that mark 2023 as a rocky year for the UK economy. In the year gone by, the UK grappled with rising prices, stagnant incomes, and a growth rate that seemed to have hit the pause button. A looming spectre of recession cast a long shadow over the economic landscape, adding to the uncertainties of an already strained populace. Yet, as the year drew to a close, a glimmer of hope emerged in the form of a surprise drop in inflation just before Christmas. Could this be the herald of an economic upturn in the coming year? Only time will tell. The inflation story of 2023 is a tale in itself. The UK experienced an inflation rate of 3.9% higher than the previous year in November. This inflation rate, influenced by a spike in energy and food costs due to the war in Ukraine and a post-pandemic shortage of workers, was higher than that of France and the EU. In a global perspective, the UK's inflation scenario stood out, not for its uniqueness, but for the shared ripple effects of global events. As we compare this with France and the EU, we see a pattern of economic interdependence and shared challenges. The impact of these inflation shocks was not limited to the prices we pay at the counter. It echoed through the halls of the Bank of England, prompting a rate-raising spree. The question now is, will this spree continue in the face of new inflation shocks, or has it run its course? As we bid farewell to 2023, the UK sits on an economic precipice, teetering between recession and recovery. The year ahead holds the promise of change, yet it is rooted in the trials of the year gone by. The challenges of 2023 have set the stage for a transformative year in the UK's economic journey. And as we step into 2024, we do so with anticipation, armed with the lessons of the past and an eye on the future. Inflation has been the ghost at the feast in the UK's economic struggle, but the Bank of England's rate-raising spree may be at an end. The year 2023 saw the UK grappling with an inflation rate that was 3.9% higher than the previous year. This inflation surge was significantly influenced by a spike in energy and food costs. These price hikes were not random, but the result of a complex interplay of global events, including the war in Ukraine and a post-pandemic shortage of workers. The war in Ukraine disrupted global supply chains, leading to a surge in energy prices. This in turn led to increased prices for goods and services across the board, driving the inflation rate up. Similarly, the post-pandemic shortage of workers tightened labour markets and pushed wage costs higher, contributing to the inflationary pressure. In response to this inflation surge, the Bank of England embarked on a series of interest rate hikes. The intention was to curb inflation by making borrowing more expensive, thereby cooling down the economy and reducing the pressure on prices. However, these rate hikes had a significant impact on mortgage borrowers. In the UK, mortgage borrowers are particularly vulnerable to interest rate hikes. This is largely due to the prevalence of shorter fixed-rate mortgage deals. In contrast to countries where long-term fixed-rate mortgages are the norm, in the UK borrowers often refinance their mortgages every 2 to 5 years. This means that when interest rates rise, the impact is felt much more quickly and acutely by UK mortgage holders. As we step into 2024, there are signs that the Bank of England's rate-raising spree may be coming to an end. The inflation rate dropped unexpectedly before Christmas, hinting at a potentially brighter phase in the new year. The coming months will reveal whether the Bank of England's rate-raising spree has indeed come to an end. Amidst this economic turmoil, the UK's unemployment rate and tax burden have become critical indicators of the overall health of the nation. Let's delve into these factors. The current unemployment rate in the UK is 4.2%. While this is higher than in Germany and the US, it is lower than in France. However, these numbers don't tell the full story. There's been a notable increase in the number of people who are inactive, that is, neither working nor looking for work. Additionally, we've seen a rise in the number of long-term sick, a category that includes those who have been unable to work for a significant period due to health issues. These trends suggest that the impact of the pandemic on the UK's labour market is far from over and may be more profound than the headline unemployment rate suggests. Moving on to the tax burden, the UK is set to reach a post-war record. Despite this, it is still lower than the European Union average. This might seem like good news, but it's important to remember that taxes are a major source of government revenue. They fund critical public services, from healthcare and education to infrastructure and social security. So while a lower tax burden can mean more money in people's pockets, it can also mean less funding for these vital services. As we navigate the complex dynamics of the economy, it's essential to keep an eye on these indicators. They not only reflect the state of the economy, but also influence policy decisions and political debates. As 2024 unfolds, these factors will undoubtedly play a significant role in the economic discourse and the upcoming election. As we've seen, the UK's economic landscape is a complex and challenging one. We have journeyed through a rocky economic year, marred by rising prices, stagnant incomes, and fears of a recession. We've delved into the complexities of inflation and interest rates, with surprising drops and potential impacts on mortgage borrowers. We've explored the realities of unemployment and the impending tax burden, unearthing the rise in inactive people and the weight on the typical British household. Yet, amidst these challenges, there are glimmers of hope. The unexpected drop in inflation before Christmas may signal a brighter phase as we venture into 2024. The resilience of the UK economy has been tested, but the prospect of growth, however small, remains. As we navigate these economic waters, it is crucial to stay informed and engaged. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more updates on the UK's economic journey. Here's to a prosperous 2024 for all. Cheers!